Hi folks, it's Pastor Russ. We're doing our Saturday of Holy Week devotional update now. We are past Good Friday and the cross, and what lies ahead, of course, is Easter Sunday and the resurrection. This is kind of the in-between day. It's not a day where a whole lot happens as far as anything connected with the Lord or with the disciples. Because it was a Sabbath, there was no other work that could be done as far as prepping Jesus' body permanently for burial. Obviously, the women didn't understand the concept of this resurrection, or the disciples for that matter, or they wouldn't have worried about having to prep his body for burial, because it wasn't going to stay in that dead state, that human fleshy state for very long, and it wasn't really necessary to have to prep it. But they didn't know that, and that's okay. God used that as part of his plan. I'm sorry about the wind here, folks. As you can see, I'm up on top of my hill. It's very, very windy here, so I'm sitting inside my vehicle to try to do this, and I don't know how much the microphone's affected, but there's too much reflection off the window with the window closed, so I'm trying to make the best of the conditions and the technology, so sorry about that. But yeah, on Saturday we see that the Jewish leaders do go to Pilate at some point and say, look, his disciples are going to steal his body and claim he raised from the dead. We need you to post a guard to guard the grave so that won't happen. Because you see, they had also heard Jesus claim too, if not directly from him, certainly. He did mention it when he said, tear down this temple and I'll rebuild it in 3 days. But as far as his declarations to them, when his 3 disclosures of his death and resurrection, they didn't hear that. But it's possible Judas filled them in on some of the other things he said too when he met with them. I don't know. But they understood that it would be the 3rd day that he'd be considered raised from the dead, so they wanted to make sure that didn't happen and the disciples couldn't claim it. So they went to Pilate. Pilate explained the situation. Pilate said, that's fine, I'll send a contingency of Roman soldiers, of Roman legionnaires to guard the tomb. We'll make sure it's secure and sealed. And of course there was a heavy stone in front of it anyhow, so nobody could just sneak in quickly and do it. So the soldiers were there to prevent any problems. And what happens then, of course, is after sunset on Saturday, Saturday ends and Sunday officially begins in the Jewish calendar. So we don't know when Jesus was raised from the dead. It was sometime before dawn, obviously, as the scriptures say. But any time after dark on Saturday is considered the 3rd day, as far as the Jewish counting would have been. The Jewish method of marking days would have been. So sometime during the night is when the resurrection happened. And I won't go into all of that right now, because that's part of the message for tomorrow morning, for Easter morning. But it was not a great day, certainly, for the disciples and for the women, because they were totally despondent. Did they have any kind of hope? From the initial reaction to Jesus' resurrection on Sunday morning, to the empty tomb and then seeing the resurrected Christ, no, they didn't, because at first they didn't want to believe it. So their mood must have been very somber, must have been very despondent. They were probably scared to death that the Romans were coming for them next, or the Jewish leaders, whatever. But it was not a good day. Saturday was not a good day for Jesus' followers. So fortunately, that wouldn't last very long, because Sunday was coming, you know what I mean? And it didn't take too long till the truth finally came out, and they did truly see that he did exactly what he said he would do, would rise from the dead the 3rd day. So we're in a waiting period now on this Saturday between Good Friday and Easter Sunday. But there's hope, and this is kind of the waiting period that we're also in with waiting for the Lord's return. We're living by faith now. We don't see Jesus physically yet. He hasn't come back to claim his church and to claim this world, but we're living in hope that will be happening someday soon. So we're in a much longer phase, of course, than the disciples and the women had to live through, because they only had to do it for one day. But we're living through that in our lives, and we're trusting that this will happen just as surely as Jesus rose from the dead. And so we can build our faith on the fact that it certainly will happen one day when the Lord decides that enough is enough, and he's coming back to claim this world as his own and to claim all of us to be with him forever. So that's the hope we can have on Easter Saturday, to look forward to what's coming the next day and what will come in the future when Jesus does return. So I hope you're having a good day with your family. I hope you're not overstressed with everything going on with Easter. I hope you have a great Easter Sunday tomorrow. We'll be back. We'll do some kind of, if the weather cooperates, we'll do some kind of sunrise message from up here by the cross here. If, as I said, if the weather cooperates. If it's all terribly cloudy and we can't see the sun, well, that'll be a problem, but we'll give it a try anyhow. It won't be live streamed like we did last year, but it will be hopefully on both YouTube and the church Facebook page sometime Sunday, as will, Lord willing, the sermon for Sunday from Sunday morning. So you can look forward to that and spread your word to friends and family about that as well. At any rate, that's our update. It's a beautiful day today, but it is bitter cold here. The wind is whipping at about 20-30 miles an hour, and the air temperature was only in the upper 30s, so with the wind chills, it feels like January where I am. But that's okay. It's a beautiful April day, and the weather will only get better from here, just as our futures will only get better from here, because Good Friday is now over, and we're heading towards Easter Sunday. So thank you for watching, and we'll be back in touch with our Resurrection Day update.